And you said this before. You said, because you're creative, I know other creatives like this, you have one foot in the magic realm.
Yeah.
And it's like when your foot's in there, you pick up the signal from the other. So you all kind of get ideas from each other before you even met. That's why he knew to show up. And I've had people just show up knowing drawn there, knowing they're supposed to be there, not knowing why. It's this kind of magical thing that when you get into the creativity world, you really are tapping into the universe in a way to get your ideas, because your brain's not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to come up with these ideas. They're out there. And everyone in every discipline has a different line for that. Like Keith Richards says, I don't come up with these riffs. They're all floating around. I was just the first one to pull it down and use it. You know, they all have their version of that it's not from them. And that's the best way to think, because then there's no ego involved. And if you have no ego, that it's just you're a conduit for this creative spirit to come through you, well, then you can do anything. I can be a good pipe. I just get my ego out of the way and let it come through. Because, you know, when you're in a flow, you know, you start, I don't want to write this book. And then you start writing, and the first few lines come out. Then it starts going, and you can't even believe what's coming out. It's because creative spirit, in my theory, doesn't have hands. It's waiting for you to get off your ass and pick up the pen, and then it can help take over. And so always take action. That's why I say always take action. Don't wait to be inspired. Action first, inspiration second.
Yeah.
Because if you wait to be inspired, like to make your short film, good luck, they ain't ever coming. But if you just start making the film, ideas you never in a million years would have come up with come into your head, because it's not you. It's coming through you now. It's like, finally, you're gonna go make that film we've been wanting to make. Creative spirit must be very disappointed in people who don't take action, who sit there. And I tell you where I figured this out. When I was a cartoonist at 19, I had a daily cartoon strip. It'd take me hours to draw it. I would have to draw a little bit, try to figure out a joke, and I'd have a deadline every day or I wouldn't get paid. And I needed the money. I already had 2 jobs. So one day I thought, I gotta figure out a better, easier way. I wonder if I could just come up with a method where I go home, sit, and just try and picture it. Just picture it and then go draw it. And I'd sit there for hours and be like, deadline's over. Oh shit, I gotta go do this. I'd have to pick up the pen and draw. And as soon as I started drawing, I would draw one drawing, 3 others, and then I was kind of, this kind of drawing kind of goes with that. I put that there, and then that would be formulated. That's the process. It's not gonna come to you if you're just sitting on your ass waiting for it to make magic. You have to physically pick up the pen or pick up the camera or pick up the guitar. And then it's like, thank God, because it doesn't have hands. Now I can come through. Now let me take over. That's the whole magic of creativity. So you shouldn't have any doubts if you could do it. As soon as you say, wow, I don't know how I did that. I wonder if I can do it again. You just shut the pipe. Because your ego got in the way. You thought it was you. It's not you. It's coming through you. So just be a clear pipe. I know that works because I taught that to my kids in a class when they were younger. And right away, they each wrote a book. It was unbelievable because they didn't have anything to unlearn. You know, they didn't have any experience yet, where we all have more doubts now because we're older. We're like, you know, it's like that thing where you teach a class full of grade school kids who can write a novel, who can be the president, who can do an opera, who can dance ballet. They all put their hands up because they don't know better. You keep asking them as the years go on, hands start going down. Even with no life experience, they just all stop believing they're that person without any evidence that they're not. I always wanted to be that kid who had his hand up. Like, no matter what, even if it was something I didn't know how to do, put your hand up because you'll figure it out as you go. Don't have a doubt, just go do it. Just go do it.
Seems to be working for you so far.
It's been working. It's that. Do you ever see that movie Being There with Peter Sellers? He's so naive. He's just a gardener. But he gets hit by a car and he ends up in Washington. And everyone thinks he's so smart because he's just talking about the garden and they all read into him. And by the end, he walks across the lake. Because he doesn't know you can't.
Doesn't know you can't do it.
It's the most beautiful movie you could see. Peter Sellers, I think, got an Oscar for it or a nomination at least.
Amazing.
And it's amazing. And you're just like, oh my God, they all think he's this prophet. And everyone's quoting him and doing their own version of what he's saying. But he's just saying, when the roots are strong, the garden will flourish. And everybody's like, whoa. But that naive quality, you want to keep that naive quality. That's what got me to do mariachi. I didn't know it couldn't be done. It was only till later when people said, how'd you make that movie for $7,000? You know that's impossible. I was like, really? It was like, it didn't seem that hard. But if you're telling me, I guess I just followed my nose and I ended up at the top of Mount Everest somehow. I wasn't trying to do that. To some people it was impossible, but to me it was just solutions I came up with to make up for what I didn't have.